So good evening, John. It's lovely to have you on the show. You're joining me, Karen Dodd from Wise Women Weekdays. And I understand you are a homeopath extraordinaire. You have taken it to the next level, working with energies and color and crystals and gems and all sorts of magic. I think that's the word you used a moment ago.
Well, interesting stuff anyway. To me, homeopathy, everything's magic. So, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, have you always been a homeopath, or did something take you off, onto that path? Did something happen to you? Were you in another business? Give us a little bit of background, a backstory.
Well, I've always been really been an artist. Started at school, leaving school, into the pottery industry, and I was working with color and transparent color, and then I went into stained glass, transparent color again. It's funny how this has happened, but during all this period, my early adult period, our dog Bonnie it was a bearded collie, a gorgeous bearded collie. He was a Bonnie boy, and he had a spinal problem, and so the vet was called in, and the vet obviously gave him painkillers, and the next day Bonnie thought he was okay, and he must have damaged himself further, and so the vet was called in again, and then asked me to she said, I'm sorry, he's what we call a dyer. He's not going to last at all. And so I said, what about herbal medicine? I'm very interested in herbal medicine. And she said, look, try anything. She said, I'll tell you what, a friend of mine is interested in homeopathy. Well, Karen had never even heard of the word homeopathy at that time. This was about 1980. And so we phoned back and on the Friday, and she said, I've had a word with her.
1980.
She said, give him arnica. Well, this trying to find arnica led me down quite a few rabbit holes, and they were fascinating places, meeting fascinating people. But I eventually located arnica. I eventually got in touch with Ainsworth's pharmacy, who were the pharmacy to the Queen, and but even here, John Ainsworth, he eventually died, and but I became friends with Tony Pincus, who now owns Ainsworth's, and so he's been a great help, motivating me. So yeah, and then they sent arnica, and I gave Bonnie arnica. It saved his life. Bonnie lived another 7 years.
Would you put that down just to the homeopathic remedy, the arnica, which I know is supposed to be very good for bruising, or did you also change the lifestyle? Did you change like the diet, the exercise plan, all those sort of things?
Well, yeah, there was a mix of things actually, but look, the main factor was arnica. It really was. And we just went on from there, Doors became opened. I became chairman of a homeopathic group, and that led me into meetings with into doctors' meetings. So I conversed in homeopathy at really top levels, and so I made a lot of friends and a lot of connections, a lot. And also, by the way, I was once I realized homeopathy, I'm a typical Aquarian. I just needed to know more, and so I found myself using remedies immediately within the first week, and I was getting people better. This is what can happen when you introduce to this remarkable system.
You did say, John, that your doctor sent you to the homeopath. Was this like a GP, a general practitioner, a normal doctor as such? Or was it a specialist doctor, holistic doctor?
No, no, it was a friend. It was a lady I was introduced to, and and her name was Catherine Drinkwater. She was from Cardiff, and she was very good with animals in homeopathy, and she introduced me to Ainsworth's, and from there on, I was just because I became chairman of a group. I was just meeting a lot of doctors at the group meetings. So
and these, so this is what I find interesting. They were GPs. They were like, doctors from the local surgery that were open-minded to this alternative.
No, the local doctors, they weren't interested.
So these were doctors, these are holistic doctors. Were they doctors of
No,
homeopathy
well, for example, bear in mind,
other means of healing?
I was helping people. And so I became a sort of a local figure where people could approach someone for help. And in my case, I was helping them because I was well in tune with homeopathy, and I realized that it's a doctor's system. And so therefore I wanted to, if people approached me for help, I would always refer them to doctors. And so I did meet a doctor called David Smallbone, and he was famous for curing cancers. But he was a surgeon at one point, and then he packed in surgery and discovered homeopathy for himself and became a brilliant homeopath. He passed away, but he became a friend long term.
Excellent. Because I believe in homeopathy, they say less is more. Is that correct? You have a little bit. So if you have an illness, an ailment, you have a little bit of a remedy, a small amount of whatever it is that you have, not like a I don't want to say any of these words here. In fact, I'm going to be quiet. You tell me how homeopathy works.
Well, these are the terms that you mentioned, like cures, and all that stuff. They are just loose terms. The public don't really understand them. And so I don't use these terms. So the way I see homeopathy is basically you give a substance in an energetic form, and you tap into the energy form of any substance by dilution. So the more you dilute, the more you get into the energy level of a substance. So therefore, you give a remedy to the person to wake the body up into self-repair. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Please remember that in my view, medicine cures nobody. It's always the remedy motivates the body into self-repair. Even with a 6-month-old baby, the infant always does. The person always does the repairing. It's just that obviously the best thing to do in that case is to give her a good remedy.
Yeah.
Safe remedy. And
I mean, the body is a miracle, really, isn't it? And
remarkable.
Yeah, and we don't trust ourselves enough. We give away our power, I guess, to people that wear white coats and stethoscopes, and they've got initials after their names or initials at the beginning of their names, and we don't always listen to what our body is telling us. So
Karen, we are fascinating creatures. So are all creatures. But I'm asking everybody to realize just how fascinating their bodies are. And it's not just the physical body. I read somewhere that we are 1% matter and 99% energy.
I'm sure that's very true. I
find that remarkable.
Yeah, it is remarkable because we can't see energy. We're used to seeing things that you can pick up, tangible things like a pen. We're not used to seeing energy. I know we can see energy, and I know there's cameras that can take pictures of energy, and it's quite amazing. But you've taken it to the next level, haven't you? And I'm seeing all these lovely jars on your window ledge there of colors of liquid or something, which I just think are very nice.
Yeah.
Is that part of what you do? Tell us where you've taken it to the next level with your homeopathy.
Well, what happened is I was about to go to South Africa, and I'd received a book that was written by a lady called Swami Narayani.
Hmm.
She was famous for creating combination remedies, and I wanted to know all about her. So I bought this book, a second-hand book that arrived from USA, and in this book she pointed out an interest she had in gem therapy, which was the work of Dr. Bhattacharya. And I was really fascinated. I wanted to know why gems worked, how gems worked as remedies. And it was this realization that basically gems represented the colors of the sun's rays. So you'd have a red ruby. Now the red ruby would represent the Ayurvedics had developed a system where you could use a pendulum in dowsing and a prism, and you could locate the color frequency that was, if you like, that was related to the vibrations of sun's rays. And so the red ruby, through dowsing and using a prism, they proved could match the vibrations of the red frequency in the cosmos, and so on. And then it went on. The green emerald would represent the vibrations of the green part of the spectrum, and a moonstone would represent the values of the blue part of the spectrum. And so all the seven colors of the spectrum were covered by using gems. So that's
And when we talk, just so we don't lose people here, when you're talking about this, so gems, I think I've got one on my side table here. Gem, would this? I've got a bit of quartz crystal here. Would you class this as a gem?
definitely a gem. But
Yeah.
please
So
bear in
we're
mind,
talking gems are crystals. It's just another word
that's right.
for
Yes.
crystals.
Yeah.
Okay. So and I wear them. I love crystals. And
Be
when you're talking
careful.
about the spectrum, can you give us a little bit more information? Are you talking about our energy system, our chakra system, or
Yes,
something
but
else?
no, not that. But please return to what you're wearing.
Yeah, I can use this as a dowser as well as a pendulum as well. I think this is I'm not sure what this one is. I think it's black quartz.
It doesn't matter, but please return to that, because
Yeah.
I've got something to tell you about that.
Okay.
Because the chap that was writing about gems, he was showing that there's a value in gemstones. Okay, but there was a very very famous case of Mr. Joshi, and he became paralyzed, and he saw homeopaths and got certain results, but he was still very ill. And but eventually he was introduced to an Ayurvedic practitioner who knew about the gems. And this Ayurvedic practitioner noticed that Mr. Joshi was wearing a large ruby with a gold ring, and he said, "Look," he said, "will you please take that ruby off?" And which he did. He said, "Now I want you to take the ruby out of the house." And he removed the ruby. He took the advice of the Ayurvedic practitioner, and the man got better.
From taking the ruby outside the house.
What I was showing you there is the ruby has frequencies.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you're wearing a ruby, you may be wearing too much red part of the spectrum.
Okay.
So you can be out of balance.
Okay.
What you are either designed or you've evolved to take in the seven colors of the spectrum of the sun's rays. I ask you, do you know what color is sunlight to you?
Well, I would say it's yellow purely because the sun appears to be yellow, full of fire. But I guess, is it transparent? I don't know.
Well, any light, that's including a torchlight, any
Yeah.
light, if you shine a light through a prism, the prism will break, a glass prism will break down the light into its component parts. So let's say on the backcloth on a sheet of paper, the the torchlight will appear. The prism will have broken down the component parts of the torchlight, and will show on the colors will show on the paper. Well, nature has a prism, and rain is nature's prism, and you shine light, as in sunlight, through nature's prism, through rain, and what appears nature's prism, rain, breaks the sunlight down into its component parts, and so on the back cloth you'll see the colors of sunlight, and that's where you'll see the rainbow.
So I get that. And is this when you refer to the spectrum? You said there's 7 colors. So is this what you're talking about when the
Yes.
sunlight is broken down? So and that's strange because we have 7 main chakras which are also color related.
Right.
You know, like you say, the red ruby, that's related to your root chakra.
Yeah.
But I'm very intrigued when you said this person was told to take the ruby outside the house for healing because it was too powerful.
Yes.
I mean, I love
powerful.
crystals. I surround myself in them, so maybe that's not such a good thing.
Well, when I first developed this years ago, this must be 20 years ago now, I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll develop a dowsing system where I can take people's hair and see what they are attracted to at each given day, shall we say. And if they are attracted to red, then they need red. But if they're not attracted to red, if they're getting too much, if they wear too much red, too much ruby, that you could be smothering the body. The body must take in these colors at the level that they are produced. They're directed to us.
Yeah.
In other words,
Okay.
we take in sunlight. Now,
right.
What you'll see a plant. You know, do you understand that remedies come from plants?
Yes.
Well,
I do, but maybe can you explain for people that are watching this video?
Yeah.
Because that's about homeopathy, isn't it? Again, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
I do see that I'm talking to your viewers as well. So, and I ask everyone to understand that if you got rid of sunlight, you would actually get rid of all those remedies. You not only get rid of the remedies, you get rid of Karen and John and everybody, because we all exist from sunlight. So once you grasp that, everything comes from sunlight, everything. So therefore, all the remedies come from sunlight. When you
So for clarification here, I'm understanding you, but are you saying like without sunlight we would not grow? Is that how it works?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it is because I think when you and I've had a chat before, I've talked about wheatgrass, which I think is a very, very, very healthy product to have in small doses. Because again, wheatgrass is just like baby grass, and it comes very quickly, but it comes from the sun. So you are like drinking sunshine. And
look, it's good that you said that. Sorry to interrupt you, Karen.
No, please do.
When you take a cabbage, right?
Yeah.
You accept that you're eating a cabbage, but the cabbage, the term, if you think about digesting sunlight, the cabbage digests sunlight, but the proper term at a cellular level is assimilate. So the cabbage assimilates sunlight, and you eat the cabbage. So I ask you, what are you actually eating? You're eating processed sunlight.
Yes.
So all your food, no matter what you're eating, that goes to all the viewers. All the food that's being eaten is just processed sunlight. That's how important sunlight is.
Yes, unless it has been processed food, because then you're taking the life and soul out of the fresh food. That's why fresh food, I think, is so important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's healthy. No, I totally understand that.
But please understand the value of sunlight. With that, you wouldn't have got the food if it wasn't for sunlight.
Yes.
And therefore, you wouldn't have got the remedies if it wasn't for sunlight. There'd be no insects, no bacteria, no anything without sunlight. But what happens when you bring sunlight back? All of a sudden, you've got every remedy.
Yeah. And
So
it's an interesting thing because also the sensation of sunlight on our body makes you feel good. I just come back from a holiday, a beautiful holiday, on an exploration ship going around the British Isles, and we were up in the Orkneys, and the weather was treacherous. You know, massive hailstones, wet, damp, windy, the whole lot. And we were just shivering, you know, but we were on this tour. We wanted to go and explore stuff. Then we came down to the Isles of Scilly, or the Scilly Isles, and the Isle of Man, and the sun came out, the sky was blue, and you feel that on your body, and you feel healthier, you know,
yeah,
and you open up more. You're not cowering down, covering yourself because you're freezing cold. You are open to the sun, to receiving the sun, feeling the warmth on your face. But a lot of us are also now told to cover our skin, hide ourselves from the sun because it's not good for you. Which, I mean, what's your opinion on that?
um,
Sunscreens and sunglasses.
well, no, 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 no. I wouldn't do that. Um, I did wear sunglasses recently because it was an experiment with blue light.
Yeah.
That's the reason. I'd read in Babbitt was Edwin Babbitt was a specialist in color, and this in the late 1700s, 18 up to 1890, and he pointed out the value of blue light. So, but that's an advanced subject. We needn't deal with that
To
today.
come back to that on another time. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but please, the point I'm leading to is you have to take in sunlight. If you do not assimilate sunlight, you are in trouble. But, and this is the point, you must assimilate it at the levels that it's meant for you. That is all those 7. And there's also 2 invisible colors, which are infrared and ultraviolet. So all those and all these colors, for want of a better term, they vibrate at frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
So they are electrical. So
Mm-hmm.
they're all the colors of the rainbow. They're moving, and they're
Yes.
moving at electrical frequencies.
Yes.
You, Karen, and everybody else, including me, we're electrical beings.
Mm.
And we eat food to produce electricity. If we do not produce electricity, we will fall over. So that's the importance of food, but that's the importance of food grown with sunlight.
Yes.
Very important, and therefore that's how the remedies come in.
And I think at this point, it's also worth mentioning, in my opinion, about you have like sun gazers, which we're not talking about, are we? I do know of people that don't eat very much food, but they just stare at the sun, and they feel getting the sun, the energy from the sun is enough to keep them alive. We're not talking about that at all. We're talking about the sun going into our food and then consuming the food.
Yeah, and also into our body. It's not
And
just
into,
about
of course,
vitamin D, you know, because
no, no, no.
when the sun, uh, these rays burst out of the sun,
Hmm.
they're full of minerals.
Yeah.
So it's not just vitamin D. There's loads of minerals like chromium and iron, etc. All sent out by the rays of the sun towards this planet. So the minerals come from the sun,
Yeah.
including metals.
Do you think, if you look back at the ancient, that the people that have preceded us, you know, from hundreds of years before, when you have the pagans and the various religions, that would worship the sun and maybe put stones up to the sun for the solstice, the winter solstice, the summer solstice. Do you think they also recognize that the sun was so important to our existence, other than just light and day?
Absolutely. I'm convinced that a lot of people through history have been kept ignorant, and I think they were a clever
Yeah.
bunch. The people that build those pyramids, they're a pretty clever bunch. But back to sorry, I forgot my point then. Carry on.
Well, we're just talking basically about the point of sunlight and the prisms, the colors. So the colors are within sunlight, and if you have too much of a certain color, it can make you poorly. And then I probably keep asking you questions, so I take you off your path. So let's come back into. So we've got homeopathy, we've got sunlight. We know we're energetic beings, we're vibrating. How can you bring the colors? Because I asked you about the lovely glass bottles or whatever they are, the jars you've got on your window ledge. How do we combine the colors, the gems, and the homeopathy together?
Well, please recall a point I made earlier. I was originally interested in gems, so I
Yeah.
used to buy gems, and I used to buy reliable gems, usually old ones, and to represent the colors of the spectrum. Okay. Now, I wanted to know, these would relate to remedies, obviously.
Yep.
So I wanted to know what color the remedies resonated with to the gems. So I would dowse using a pendulum. And so what I'd do there is I haven't got them with me now, but there you have the bottles of these are bottles of sunlight, and they have replaced the gems. So you got to imagine that used to be ruby and so on, and that used to be coral. Well, so now because I was getting brilliant results, I'd got to teach other homeopaths how to do this, and so I couldn't really guarantee the authenticity of gems that they bought. So I thought I found a way of making sunlight in bottles. So I'd use these to replace the gems. And what would happen? I'd have for example, a bottle of arnica. There we are.
Move the camera down because I can't see what you're
Yeah,
doing
I'm
there,
going
John.
to,
You've got your dowser, yeah. You've got your pendulum there.
Right. I might actually move the camera as well.
Yeah, so we can see. Yeah. Okay. And also, when you say those colors in those bottles replace the gems, did you have the gems in the bottles to begin with?
Yes.
Okay.
I've still got them. Still got the
Oh,
gems.
but they're not in the bottles anymore. You've removed them to make
No,
another batch.
they're still in the bottles.
They are. Okay.
Right. What we have here now is so I've got a bottle of arnica in my hand.
Yeah.
Now we're
John,
talking
do me
about.
one favor. John, will you just move the paper from your keyboard? I can't read it, but I don't know if there's anything on there that we shouldn't be seeing.
No,
So,
that's fine.
no, okay, okay. Yeah.
What you have here is we are electrical beings.
Yes.
And so the way we work is we think about magnets,
Yeah.
but they are electrical magnets. So everything works with electromagnetism. So this remedy is this there. Where are we? This remedy there
Yeah.
is arnica, and it will be electromagnetic. It will be attracted to its component part. Okay.
Right.
So I want to find out what the remedy arnica matches the vibrations of with these sunlight bottles.
Okay.
So if you take the pendulum towards the and I'm simply asking, please take me to the sunlight bottle that vibrates at the frequency that matches the vibrational frequency of the remedy in my hand. So I just want to watch.
So you've got arnica in your hand. Is that the
Yeah,
same hand as your dowsing, or is that in your left hand?
same hand.
Right, so you've got arnica. Okay, got you. So you've got a bottle of arnica there, and then you've got the
Yeah.
douse, you've got the pendulum. Now you're dowsing to see where you're going to get the yes or where it's attracted to and what color.
It's
I understand.
electromagnetically attracted.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll go through it again. Please take me to the sunlight bottle that vibrates at the frequency that matches the vibrational frequency of the remedy in my hand. So I don't want you to just watch and tell me, you know, it's obvious anyway. You can see it now. It's taking a certain direction.
Yeah, it's hitting the red bottle, isn't it? Or was that the yellow one? The red?
Well, let's see which one it touches. Okay, if I move the red.
Okay. And for people that haven't studied dowsing before, I mean, I would just say dowsing.
I will teach anybody to douse. I will teach them.
And it's a very, very old skill.
Oh,
And
yeah.
personally speaking, I used to do a lot of dowsing in some of the healing work that I've done. But what was really apparent on a practical basis is when we moved to the house we live in now, we decided to get our own water supply. So we picked up the phone book or the Googled, whoever it was, and invited some dowsers to come to our house and douse for water. And that's what they did with the rods, the dowsing rods, which was quite fascinating because they'd walk around our paddock and see which direction the rods would go to.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm looking at you now. So can you see which way this pendulum is attracted to?
Well, it's heading because unfortunately I had to move to my phone. I can see it's either going to the blue or the yellow again.
Well, remember you thought it was red or yellow.
Yeah.
So I've took the red out of the way.
Obviously it's a yellow then, isn't it? It's
Right.
yeah.
Now, what I will tell you from that every time I douse, arnica is always attracted to yellow.
Okay. So arnica is yellow. Yeah.
Yes, it vibrates at the yellow frequency. Yeah. And I know the colors now of about 200 remedies.
Amazing. Amazing. Do you want to do another one or do you want to move the camera back up so we can see you?
And do another one.
I mean, if you've got another remedy there, and I just finished off about my dowsing for the water, because these guys came along with the dowsing rods. Every member of the family actually had a go at dowsing for the water, and the rods worked really well, but they didn't work for me. I was quite upset.
Excuse me, Karen. Excuse me a second. Nick, I'm just being interviewed.
Oh, I thought you were going to do something magic.
Okay.
So I'll tell the viewers whilst John is talking to somebody on the phone.
No, it's gone. It's gone now.
Okay. So I just want to finish this story just to give evidence that dowsing works. So I think 7 members of 5, all my family members, there's 5 in the family, other than myself. It worked for all of them, and then the 2 engineers or whatever you want to call them, the dowsers. And they said, okay, you have got water here, and also you can follow the tree line. So where the tree line was sort of curved, you'll tend to have water underneath that because the trees are obviously feeding, from underneath where the water comes. So they came along, they dug some holes, and lo and behold, from where the dowsing tools had taken us, we have had a borehole, which we've had probably 15 years. So dowsing does work. For those people that doubt it, it absolutely works. I'll be quiet now, John, so you can.
It's okay. I'm told anybody not to phone. So there was one chap who didn't know I was doing this today.
Don't worry, things happen. We do things raw on this show. On the Wise Women, as you know, we tried to do this on my computer, but it seemed I had to close it because it went very funny. And even on this recording, sometimes you go very blurry, your voice. So yeah.
Right.
It is what it is. Okay.
Again, please take me to the sunlight bottle that vibrates at the frequency that matches the vibrational frequency of the remedy that's in my hand. Well, I can see straight away it's going to this one.
What colour is that, John? Green? I can't quite see it.
That's indigo.
It's indigo, is it? Okay.
Right.
And what's the remedy in your hand?
Nature Mure.
Nature Mure. Okay.
Nature Mure always vibrates at an indigo frequency, by the way.
So do you want to move the camera so we can see you now?
Yeah.
So each remedy will always have the same colour, is that correct? So arnica will always be yellow.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good question.
Amazing. Okay, so now what we've done then, or what you've done, you've got the colour and the gem and the remedy. You've linked them all together.
Yeah, the again, if we start dowsing again,
Mm.
I can just explain this. We want to
Yeah.
know what the deficient state of the person is, right? So what we'll do now is, instead of using the remedy, we'll use the person.
Okay.
The person's lock of hair is sandwiched between two sticky labels. Okay. Now, according to Einstein, this is what you call quantum entanglement. That means that person's hair will always contain their energy, always. So if they go to live in New Zealand and something goes wrong with them, it'll be picked up here in this hair. That's the value of it. And
Well,
so
hang on a sec. Hang on, John. Hang on a minute. I've got to understand this. So you've got the hair, because my mind's gone to DNA and stuff. You've got somebody's hair in that little bit of plastic. They go off to New Zealand. Something untoward happens to them. You're not saying that bit of hair is affected by what's happened to them over there.
yes, because they're always connected, always.
Goodness gracious. Well, that's a new one for me. It's like the 100 monkeys. Mm.
Einstein called it quantum entanglement.
Okay.
He accepted it.
Yeah,
Well, he referred to blood samples. The same thing. You're still your DNA.
But you're saying it's affected the other side of the world because of the energy, the link energetically, yeah?
No, I'm not saying the other side of the world. I'm saying if they're on the moon, it would still happen.
Oh dear. Okay.
Look,
So
I
other
approve
than the
this,
other side of the
right?
world, anywhere.
If I was to
So,
give, if I've got a remedy for this person, right? If I send the
yeah.
remedy to that hair, that person will get better if it's the right remedy.
Oh my God, this is crazy. So you hang on, but the hair can't eat the remedy. So you're gonna douse over it. How is this gonna work?
It's frequency, it's vibration.
But how are you? Okay, I understand that part. I understand that, but how are you going to fix the hair? Because the hair can't eat natrimur or arnica or whatever you're going to feed it. So
Again, it's electromagnetism, because if you put the remedy in a
on it.
container with the hair, you see
Got you.
You can also transmit it with one of these remedy instruments.
What's a remedy instrument?
It's a remedy making instrument. So this one, there's an example of a remedy making instrument.
This is a Blue Peter moment, one I did earlier. That is quite technical. Okay, so there's little petri dishes or little dishes you're gonna, mix. It's like mixing paint as an art. Well, it is artistry, isn't it?
No, what happens here is you put let's say a bottle of pills. Okay. Yeah. Or I could put a hair sample in there.
Okay.
Let's say you put a bottle of pills in there, right?
Well, let's say aspirin. You're going to put some aspirin in there. Or you talk about remedy pills.
Remedies.
Right. So nothing to do, none of the other stuff. Right. Oh, we'll just talk about homeopathic stuff. Okay. When you said pills, I thought of,
You're talking about energy. Yeah. And you dial up a related
healthy pills, yeah.
You dial up a related frequency from these numbers. Okay.
Okay. How do you know what numbers?
Well, there's the people that have dowsed in the past, and so there are lists of numbers, the frequencies. So, and what you do then?
There's a book. There's a reference. Okay.
You press a button to transmit the remedy to that well.
Goodness me.
There's a bottle of pills in the well. The pills will get the remedy, these vibrations, and then you give that pill to the person.
And how many pills? I mean, how long could this take for this person to be fixed? Is it an overnight job, or is it a 7-day job, or?
Well, that's a difficult question,
How long's a piece of string?
No, it could be seconds.
It could be seconds.
Seconds.
Seconds. Do they have to believe this?
No.
If they don't. So it's going to happen no matter what. It's a natural cure because we're using quantum, whatever it was you said.
Yes, you're using quantum frequency, quantum energy. It's I'm sorry we're a bit vague, but because this is so complex. So let's talk around it. You know, the understanding what energy is, understanding that we use our own electrical energy. So does a baby.
I agree. I understand. There's also a lady called Veda Austin. Have you come across her?
Oh, sorry.
A lady, she's called Veda Austin.
No.
And have you come across Yasuro Emoto, who worked with the
Yes,
consciousness of
yes,
water?
yes. The
So
Japanese.
Veda, I think like many others, she's taken it to the next level, and the consciousness of water. And in one of her talks, she says how she gets we're talking about eggs, chicken eggs. So she gets a happy egg from a chicken that's running around happy, being a normal chicken, as opposed to an unhappy chicken, so a battery hen. And if
Yeah.
you look at those eggs, you can see that the unhappy egg isn't very healthy and yucky, whereas the happy egg is bright like your sunshine.
Yeah.
So what she's done as an experiment, she's put the happy egg next to the unhappy egg over a period of, I don't know, 24 hours overnight. And when she's opened the happy egg, again, the yolk is bright and shiny, but also the unhappy egg, because it's been next to the happy egg overnight, it's also happy as well. The yolk is bright yellow and shiny.
Yeah.
So the energy, the consciousness, the connection of those two yolks is a bit weird, but to me, it's like the same sort of thing that you're talking about here, you know, with consciousness, with
Everything's
energy, with
electrical.
connection, vibration.
You get let's say a young man meets a young lady.
Mm-hmm.
The connection between the two is we see we are transmitters and receivers of energy,
Yeah.
electrical energy. So what happens is that, let's say the man or the female will transmit energy, and if it's a matching energy range that suits the person that the two are connected to, they'll hit it off, because it's all done with electromagnetism. That's
And
how you find your partner.
has that not got anything to do with the pheromones as well? Like the well, again, we're talking science, aren't we?
Yes,
Electromagnetic.
it's all connected. They're just
Yeah.
different terms for the same things.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, the pheromones, that'll be energy.
So going back to the ruby question, I mean, I'm totally understanding this, and I'm hoping people watch this. I'm just trying to think what questions they might ask. So going back to this ruby example that you said, if there is, because I'm a bit saddened about this, because my house is full of crystals. I love shiny things. And if therefore I have got the wrong crystal in the room and I'm feeling poorly, or in the house, I need to take it outside. How do I know that? I mean, should I douse every crystal before I bring it into
Well,
my space?
dowsing's very important. It's very powerful.
No,
I don't want to put you off your gemstones at all.
no,
Um,
no.
all I'm saying is, if you're wearing one very close to you, yeah, if you got too much of it, it's
Right.
understand that they're powerful.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree, and they're
it's,
old. I mean, they this one I love, because people use them for healing as well, don't they? You know, they
yeah.
use them as wands, so that they direct energy into certain parts of the body, and there's all sorts of stuff here, psychic surgery and all sorts of crystal healing. Yeah, they're very, very powerful.
Well, I know I'm changing subject slightly, but I bumped into a lady who'd lost her husband, and he'd hung himself. And I was in conversation with her, and so she said she blamed herself to some degree. Then she told me quite a bit about him. And then when she told me he'd got this huge gold tooth, I said, "Look, please don't blame yourself." I said he was wearing a substance that is known for being suicidal, gold. It's a bit like the
Mhm.
ruby. Remember the ruby with Mr. Joshi?
Yeah,
Gold's the same. These substances can affect people. Too much bad salt affects people. Too much of everything, too much
yeah.
gold affects people. too much diamond.
The word moderation. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can understand your comment about moderation, but think about, we're talking about gemstones. They're very, very powerful. They're not just pretty stones. They're extremely powerful. You really must be careful what you're wearing.
Gosh. So it's what, because I have quite a few. It's worth me
Quite a few
dowsing
what,
before I put
diamonds?
any of them on.
Quite
I
a few
love
diamonds.
diamonds.
Pardon?
Say that again.
You're saying you have quite a few diamonds?
Well, I do. I wear diamonds on my ring.
Yeah.
I don't wear diamonds around my body. I just tend to wear quartz or
Well, what you're
or
getting with the
labradorite.
diamond, you're getting the indigo frequency. You are getting it all the time.
What with the diamonds?
Yeah.
So
What we could do is just simply
know,
douse periodically to find out if it's affecting you. Well, I'll stay in touch with you for that. My idea is to,
yeah.
I'm also
So talk about
training
the other.
people, I'll train people local to you to, to follow this principle. It's very exciting.
Yeah. To take this. So have you? It is exciting, especially my next question. Have you healed many people through this?
Oh, right. Okay. One of the recent ones was actually a young lady who had gonorrhea. And I was surprised at the outcome because I went to see her because she hadn't got transport to get to me. And I had a hair sample. And I noticed her hair sample was attracted to violet, to the violet part of the light. Where are we?
Yeah,
I'm sure you know what violet looks like.
I do indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But anyway, she was
Yeah.
attracted to that. And so I took the hair sample home, and within the hour, she was reporting improvement. She got one of her symptoms of the gonorrhea was a swollen glands in the neck, and then to cut the story short, within the next 2 days, she got to go for a test with the NHS, and she was all clear.
Goodness me.
But in actual fact, I reckon she must have been all clear within 2 hours of gonorrhea by transmitting the remedy to her hair.
I mean, if this works, and I'm sure it does, I have no reason not to believe it. This is kind of wow, amazing. It will save a lot of money for a lot of people,
Yeah,
a lot of companies. Which might not be everybody's ideal,
yeah,
because a lot of people prefer to make money out of illness, don't
yeah. So can I tell you about the
they?
when
So
I was
this
at college? Do you want to
how
do?
you work, John? Are you sorry, John, the line is so bad. I don't know
Okay,
if we're being messed about with, because I had to use my phone instead of my computer because of
okay.
what happened, and you do keep going funny. Can you say that again, please?
Yeah, there was a. Would you like to do about half an hour on cases?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
There was while I was still at college, it was I'd already trained, but I was attending college because I loved the college and the people, and I was helping out at college. But in the break time, one of the homeopaths came to me and said, "Can your system help this chap who used to be a racing driver part time, and he broke his neck?" I said, "Look, all I can do is try." That's all I'll ever say, by the way. I never promise
Yeah.
anything. And so I said, all I can do is try. But I thought, this chap, if he's in a wheelchair with a broken neck, not going to walk again, because that's what they said basically. I thought he's going to be depressed anyway. You know, an active man can't work anymore, can't walk. And
Yeah.
anyway, so what I did is I said, look, ask him to send me a sample, and I'll see what he's attracted to.
Of his hair.
Yeah. Well, then I was using saliva, so
Okay.
but we could call it hair. It makes no difference.
Yeah.
So he sent me a sample, and he was attracted to violet. Sorry, to yellow, the yellow part of the spectrum. In those days, I was using the gems, so he was attracted to red coral. Now, according to Ayurveda, red coral vibrates at a yellow frequency. You just have to take their word for it. That's 4,000-year-old wisdom. And so I thought, right, I'm going to try and find a remedy that vibrates at a yellow frequency to help his depression. I thought, okay, as well, I'll look for something that we use as homeopaths that vibrate at a yellow frequency that would help be indicated for his for the broken neck. And so I contacted the lady, the homeopath. I said, give him. I told what remedies to use. I said, but give him for the broken neck. Give him calcium carbonate. Sorry, calcium fluoride and calcium phosphate. Anyway, there were two calciums, and they both vibrated at a yellow frequency. And I said, but ask him to contact me, you know, if there's any help. Well, the following month, we only met every month. The following month, she says, Richard's after you. She says he's been for the next X-ray, and he's got the report. And so I said, okay. That was Sunday. The following day, I got a letter through the post, and the note said that I've been for the latest X-ray, and the consultant said he guarantees I will repair 100%. Within 2 months of that remedy, he was cured, back at work.
Goodness gracious. And what was he taking the remedy on a regular basis, or was one dose enough?
No, it wasn't one dose. It'd be several doses.
Several doses. Goodness gracious me. Could this, the recent intervention that we've had, this medical intervention that we've had over the last few years, if you know what I'm referring to, there's a lot of people who are suffering because they have put, experimental stuff into their body, not by choice for everybody. Do you think this can alleviate a lot of their pains, discomforts, stuff that's happened to them?
Well, I've not treated anyone with this problem, because what I do is I'm teaching other homeopaths. So I've not had a patient in this way, but others
Okay.
have. What I recommend is you contact Ainsworth Pharmacy, and they send the vaccine back in potency. That is a system that's used. So in the
Okay.
case of AstraZeneca, they would make a remedy out of AstraZeneca and give it back in potency.
Right. Okay. Which is kind of what homeopathic remedies are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, can people get in touch with you or not so? When you're saying you're working with other homeopaths rather than
Yeah,
individuals.
they can get in touch with me, but what I'm doing is I'm notifying the group now that I'm teaching, and
Okay.
I'm asking the group if they'd put themselves on a separate
Yeah.
list where they can be approached. So I will have a list of these numbers. So if
Yeah.
anybody approaches me, you see, I
You
can't
can't
get.
do it all. You can't.
No, no, I definitely can't do it all.
Yeah.
But what I can't
It's a
do,
number. Yeah. No,
I
of
can't
course.
put patients onto the group, because it's a private
No,
group.
I understand. I understand. Okay. Well, I think this has been quite amazing. It fascinates me. Anything to do with energy work, like, it's right up my street.
Can I tell
And
you about a little child? Yeah, can I tell you about a little child?
Yes, please do, John. Sorry, you
Right.
you frozen again. You just, yeah,
This little child, she was 4-year-old, and I was approached by the parents.
Yeah.
I had, because of the success with her, with this is a homeopath, with some problems she got. She asked me if I could take the family's samples, and I did. And I had a call one night, and she says my daughter, 4-year-old, hadn't eaten or drunk for 4 days. So the obvious, we can't be silly about this, and I advise her get her straight to hospital, because you can't have a 4-year-old who's dehydrated. Get her off to hospital, and but before you do go to hospital, I said that I could
no,
test the sample and see what the child is attracted to, and she was attracted to violet. So whatever remedy I'm going to give her for this. This is a 4-year-old that won't eat or drink, doesn't like the taste, doesn't want anything to do with food or drink, and she was attracted to violet.
yeah,
So, and the remedy I came up with was a remedy called carbo vegetabalis, and so I advised the mother to give that remedy. But there's a way of what you call repertorizing. You look at the list of all the symptoms, and that'll take you to a list of remedies.
hmm
What homeopaths normally do is take the top 10 or the top 5.
Yeah.
Say you must be one of those. Well, in this case, this child, I was looking for the first violet remedy, the first remedy on the list that vibrated at a violet frequency, and I had to go down
yeah.
to the 20th, and that means you don't use it. But it became my number one remedy using this system. And so I said, whatever you do, give a carbo veg and get her off to hospital. And so I left her at that. And then after about 20 minutes, I thought I'll phone her again just to see just to check that she's gone to hospital for a start. And so I picked the phone up, and I won't mention the lady's name. And I picked the phone up. I said, hiya. And she says, how did you know? I said, I'm just ringing because I wanted to check that she's still vibrating at the same frequency. And she said, what happened? Within 2 minutes of giving her the remedy, this frequency, 2 minutes of giving her the remedy, she took the cake out of my hand, or sandwich, and she went to the sink and had a drink. It was all over. All over.
So you're seeing results left, right, and centre. Amazing.
Oh, I've got lists of them.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Well, listen, John, and I can put that on the description, and possibly in London as well. So my next conference, UpRise Shine. We're closed now because we've been going probably for about an hour, and that's quite a long time, especially with these.
Where is this video going to appear? I'm on about for the group.
I think you would like. Hey? Sorry, John, say that bit again.
Where
You
will
can't
they
hear me.
where will they find the video?
I'm going to upload it and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So they'll find it on my Wise Women Weekdays, and I'll share it around, and then I'll send it to you. But I just wondered if there was anything that you wanted to say to close, to just before we finish. Is there anything you wanted to say to anybody who's watching this?
Well, all I can say to everybody is please understand the value of their own body, of their electrical body, and please understand the value of sunlight, because without sunlight, you'll have no remedies.
Superb. And where people might just be saying, oh, it's a sunny day, I need to put factor 20, factor 30 on my skin. Is that advisable? Or, should we still be creaming ourselves up to stop the vitamin D coming, or whatever it is,
Well, I'm
not the
not
vitamin.
putting factor anything on my skin.
Yeah.
You see, I have a firm belief that people who get cancer are, getting cancer because of their inability.
The inability.
Yeah, I think over the years we've been made ill. So I think it's ill people that get illness.
Right.
So I can't see a well person getting cancer. It's an ill person. So something has made the person ill.
Before they get the cancer.
God, yeah. You can have a whole list of things that can make people ill. A whole list.
Yeah.
Including the medical profession.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But it looks like you've got a resolution.
Yeah, it is revolutionary. This is a remarkable system. Yeah. But we've got to get it out there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Sure. Been watching John Twigg, magical homeopath, at Wise Women Weekdays. If you like this video, then give us a thumbs up. If you want more information, subscribe to the channel, because it's all about getting this information out. It's not rude. Thank you very much, John, for chatting to me today, and I look to meet you in the flesh in September.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to say goodbye. All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.